During 1943 and 1944, the United States savaged the Japanese economy, which was instrumental in the defeat of Japan. Submarines choked off food, oil, and other raw materials, restricting the flow of goods coming into the nation, which was needed for Japan to continue its assault on other nations. In fact, by 1945, imports to Japan were 1/8 of the 1940 level. Additionally, with the use of the B-29 long-range bombers, heavy bombing of Japan began in early 1944. Japan's cities were vastly made up of wood, and their air defense was much weaker than their German counterparts, leaving them much more vulnerable to attack. For example, a firebomb in Tokyo in March 1945 killed 124,000 people and left 1 million people homeless, severely crippling Japan's capital city. It was perhaps the single biggest mass killing of all time. The amount of bombing inflicted on Japan destroyed 42% of its industrial capacity, further weakening the nation. During the months of April and June 1945, the U.S. captured Iwo Jima and Okinawa. The U.S. planned to use Okinawa as a base to launch air invasions to Japan's mainland. Kamikaze attacks were used by the Japanese, but were unfruitful in granting them a victory. The Battle of Okinawa is vastly considered the bloodiest battle of the Pacific theater, with 65,000 casualties on the American side and 77,000 deaths on the Japanese side. The commanding generals of both sides died during the fighting. By the end of these two battles, Japan's position was hopeless. In fact, the Allies had successfully defeated Germany in Europe, but they still refused to surrender. America then unveiled an alternative to quickly end the war with Japan, the atomic bomb. The code name for the plan to design and build the atomic bomb was called the Manhattan Project, headed by Robert Oppenheimer. The project was kept top secret in order for Japan to be caught unawares. In fact, Vice President Truman had never even heard of the plan until he became president in 1945. On July 16, 1945, the bomb was tested with great success in New Mexico and was ready for deployment. President Truman gave the order to deploy the bomb. On August 6, an American B-29 bomber dropped the world's first deployed atomic bomb, codenamed Little Boy, over the Japanese city of Hiroshima. The explosion wiped out 90% of the city and immediately killed 80,000 people. Still, the Japanese refused to surrender. 3 days later, the US dropped another bomb, that name, over the city of Nagasaki, destroying 2.6 square miles of Japan. This was the blow that broke Japan's back, and on August 15th, Emperor Hirohito announced his country's surrender.
After that, with more impending nuclear bombings, Japan ceased hostilities on August 14th and on September 2nd formally signed their surrender. The use of nuclear bombs were a necessary tactic to minimize American deaths and to convince Japanese military leaders to agree with the emperor and peace advocates that the war was hopeless. After the war, the US removed all the imperial conquests that Japan had gained. Manchuria and Korea became independent, and the Philippines were returned to the United States, while the rest of the Pacific territories were returned to their pre-war states. Also, most Japanese that were on captured islands were forced to relocate to the main island, where many military officers were tried and executed for war crimes. From 1945 to 1952, the Allies occupied Japan, mostly controlled by the US, and led by General MacArthur. It focused on decentralizing and weakening Japan economically and politically. In 1947, a new constitution was written, which removed all the power from the emperor and made him solely a figurehead. The United States also collected reparations and deindustrialized Japan to lower the threat of rearmament. There was also the Potsdam Declaration, which stated that the US would democratize Japan and reintroduce them into the international community. Survivors of the bombings were given no special assistance until 1952, and the total amount of deaths caused from the bombs were 270,000 in Hiroshima and 150,000 in Nagasaki.
The Japanese decision to invade the U.S. paid off initially, but it ultimately proved to be a fatal mistake. The United States freed all Japan's conquests, and both crippled Japan's industry and killed many Japanese people, with roughly 2,750,000 Japanese deaths. For the U.S., the war brought some pains. The creation of atomic weaponry and being relatively unscathed at the end of the fighting set the nation as one of the dominant superpowers of the globe after World War II.